That is everything, but unfortunately, there's that third party as someone has just peeked from up above.
He may or may not have realized that there were shots from above here. And right now in this game, by the way, 2 players with 3 eliminations, Marcities and Top Boy, which means they both have a single point apiece. Trying to defend against these shots from the player underneath them. The low shot count that he was getting, that was coming at him, you notice he never built the triangles to double layer the floor. Yeah. That was, I think, the expectation there from Vivid is that, ooh, what a snipe. The expectation being that he doesn't think he's going to get shot at enough that he has to double layer. That means his opponent might be low on ammo, and he can disengage. They're going to disengage. They don't want to necessarily hit the shots. Use that bolt action to take out the ramp as his opponent was building up, and it forces them to drop down. They're closer to the zone. They're going to build back away from him, and he's just trying to keep pressure on them.
Vivid knows he's in a very rough spot right now.
He was just engaging with this player. He did hit the body shot, so they're at that time a max of 95 HP remaining is a hit for 105. Blue bolt action, and the grenade launcher going to come out. Top left, tilted, looking hot right now. Cheeto securing an elimination, the first one this game. Vivid is boxing in.
He's made it into the zone, and this is actually where he becomes one of the best players in the world. Don't get me wrong. Vivid is great throughout the whole game, but where he truly, truly excels is when it gets into little battles like this. These one-by-ones, these quick edits, these maneuvering around the close areas. Look at this. People all around him.
3 players in that tower, and Vivid is going to stay down below, maybe wait for a third-party opportunity, because if these two are going to engage each other, he doesn't have to push. If you play for position, if you play for ranking, that's crazy important.
Now, what Vivid doesn't know is this is actually who he hit with the 105 body shot earlier. Serverza didn't have any healing.
You see here the edge of Salty is that's a lot of players in one spot, Jack.
Yes, it is, man. Yes,
a lot of third-party opportunities, but also, man, you put yourself out there. Everyone is going to look for that pick. Everyone is going to try and take shots because those sound cues they're going to go off. People are going to hear the gunshots, and you'll see heads popping up like gophers left and right.
Absolutely, as people are going to have to move on in at some point soon. Now, this zone, which was crazy that it was pushing everyone to the south. So here's the thing, right? Everyone was having to move to the south part of the map. This third zone, Ben, just stayed at the top north part. So the majority of the players are actually already in and around the zone, unlike last game when we were in this scenario, which is why I think we're seeing so many more people turtled up in these 1-by-1s with still 48 left.
So you're Vivid, who was in the bottom of that tower.
I'm telling you, this is where this man works, Ben. I'm telling you, this man works.
Catching Serverza off guard there. The shotgun shot. And they build those catacombs, the multiple little chambers in there, in an attempt to throw people off on positioning. Because you don't necessarily, if you have 3 or 4 of those little 1-by-1 boxes built up with the roofs on top, you can't necessarily track where people are. And it gives you the chance to kind of sneak around inside. And like Vivid did there, like you saw, he just edits his opponent straight down, takes the opportunity to take the shot and get the elimination.
So a quick update for everybody at home. Right now we have 4 players who've earned at least 3 elims. Top Boy, Jack, Marcities are all at 3. Fugues, who was leading this game at 4, was just eliminated literally seconds ago in 43rd. If I'm not mistaken, I believe Fugues got a point from game 1 as well. So he's been having a good job with the limbs so far. As we'll continue to update you guys on the live scores in game. Now in the action at the bottom right, we're seeing players use those little edits in the pyramids to kind of peek out. So how is this done for players at home if they're wondering how to do this themselves?
Build the 1-by-1 box, put a roof on top of yourself, and then on top of that, the triangle. Dude, the triangle is so important because you can, as soon as you hit the edit key on those, you can pop your head through because the layers show up below the camera. And so you can peek out. They made some changes not long ago to the way that edits were done and kind of filled in the boxes, the platform, so you couldn't see. The triangle on top of a 1-by-1 still works, still gives you the safety because the coverage is still there, it's still built up, but you can peek out and watch other players' movement.
I actually just loved what I just saw from Landjock right there. He threw the Clinger grenade, and recently the Clinger was updated where it no longer instantly explodes when a wall is destroyed. So instead of throwing it on a side wall, he threw it at the top because the new way that Clingers work is when you destroy the structure it's on, it naturally begins to fall down with gravity. So he destroyed the roof, the Clinger then fell on in, and the player got damaged and had to escape. This was Blue Tea earlier on with that double barrel up close and personal. Bye-bye, my friend. That was how Fugues was eliminated from this one.
Punisher sitting on the top of 1x1. He's got the window edited. He's using a little bit of third person to look out, see if he can spot people rotating, and that's high enough he might be able to sneak out. Yep, he can crouch walk out of that just barely and look for a shot. He's trying to sneak his way out. He's going to close it up. These players closing their gates behind him because someone could sneak in.
Left.
And you're starting to see a lot of these chambers built up, the roofs and the little 1x1 boxes, and the shots coming out. Nexus is just going to spam down these walls. Gets Sinful caught right at the wall, secures his first elim, and you see peeking out the top of the triangle, the top of his little building. He's trying to watch for more rotations. He did just hear an explosion just before that, so there might be somebody else still out there. More elims primed for the picking right at the edge. Jota taking the launch pad in. He's going to try and find somewhere an unoccupied location. Vivid, Shido, Powder. You have tons of players still boxed up inside Salty. It's still there's just so much pressure from that side that maybe escaping early, like you saw there, it's a good call. And Crypto goes down in the feed. You saw the SMG spray from Landjack now right in front of Punisher, front left. You've got boxes building up, front right, boxes building up. Players, it's almost like they're nesting here, waiting for just the right time. And the reason being is they're inside the safe zone. Use the brick, get yourself a good structure in the window edit as Punisher is trying to make his way away, kind of building some catacombs, closing himself inside. Going for edits,
extending that out.
Edit, quickly build an extension. Edit, quickly build an extension to try and give more room to move, more safe zones essentially for himself, where he still has vision out on other people and can maybe third party if a push happens.
72 hours still in this one. He's playing at the bottom of that one, and yeah, that's about as use.
Look,
I'm getting. You want to know the information I get from that graphic? There's a lot of people
left. There's a ton of people left. 30 left in this zone. The zone is moving into. This is the last time it closes before it starts to move. So things are about to get hectic on these rotations.
This is actually more players than even are normally left in this scenario in competitive matches, which are already kind of above. But this is a lot of people trying to play for this late game. Hey, I haven't gotten many limbs. I need to get top 10.
People are looking for ranking now to get their points to try and secure for the remainder. Because after this one, there's 2 more games left today.
And I think that this happens because top 10 earns the points.
Yeah.
I think this would be different if it was like a point for top 5, or even if it was only the kind of the top, like third gets 1, second gets 2, first gets 3.
People can land in top 10,
because you can get top
enough.
10 and earn 1 point. So many people change their game plan to, I just need to get 1. And that's why we're seeing so many of these structures just built on up.
A little peek shot from Zayt on Nate Hill, who's built up in a 1x1 as well. And safe play isn't necessarily slow play. You have to keep in mind, these players, they're used to watching for rotations. You see top of the hill and engagement happening up there. Punisher is watching from a distance, trying to check to see if anybody is hanging out in this single box, and there is somebody in there. The turbo build saving him, just holding down left click with the build out. But they wait for these rotations. They look for opportunities to eliminate, because with this many competitive top skill players, it's not about who is necessarily better, but it's about who makes a mistake first. Because they play for perfection. A lot of them, they know exactly when to move and where to move, depending on the loadout. They know what their opponents are going to do, and so they also know exactly when a mistake happens. You see your Landjack is looking for a third party and somebody that's just outside the zone.
So for everybody at home right now, with 25 seconds until this next zone moves, because it's, excuse me, because it's one of the first ones where half of it is out of play, expect to see players drop like flies here. And you can already see people inching on up, not using any build, just trying to kind of sneak between all this.
Here we go. A look at the elimination leaderboard from now. 6 players from this match right now. Even with 2 eliminated, 6 players from this match already have 1 point. Jack, Nate Hill, Fugues, Top Boy, Haste, Farika, and Mars Cities. We've been watching Landjack quite a bit here because his play, his edits, and his positioning have been exceptional. You see he's inside the safe zone right at the edge already. Prodigy Ace is pushing away, and the bounce pad to get in, flying over the top of both of them. They're essentially building the same path on top of each other. You saw Jax drop down in the back. He might be looking for elimination here, trying to push in on a
He's already got 4. This would be for 2 points at 5+ elims. He's made it into the zone, but he's got no materials. He's got to win an engagement here. He knows it. He's going for it all. This is kind of an all-risk play right here. Can he get the victory?
Well done. Ashton goes down to Jack's drum gun, the shotgun.
And look at what he's rewarded with. Lupo, shields.
600 plus
600 plus wood. He had to do that. He had no choice. And not only does it earn him another point, but it earns him a chance to win this game. And now he's dead. I'm going to stop complimenting people.
You need to stop it, Jack. You've cost 2 players so far. Alliance Powder getting the third-party elim there.
I feel so bad, but I don't at all.
And the third-party shots there. Lassie's looking up top. Top boy, literally on top of the competition. He's already in a safe spot for the next push. He has the best position right now in terms of elevation. He's right next to the next zone. He can move whenever he wants. His loadout is even, for this late in the game, his loadout is fantastic. 350 wood, 300 brick, 130 metal. He can build a ton of surfaces. He's got the blue drum, a legendary.
He doesn't have a lot of ammo.
Barrel.
He does not have a lot of ammo to spray with.
With this few players left, or with the storm moving, I should say, too, he doesn't necessarily have to use the ammunition if he goes for placement. He can let people take each other out. You see, this is the time. Especially, look at the way that the circle is moving up the hill. People have to move up. You're going to see.
Watch the loss of the storms. Already 2 have dropped for the storm, and I don't think that'll be the end of them because the verticality adds a whole nother level. People are going to drop like flies here from 20 players remaining, now down to just 13. It seems like the rest of everyone has made it on in, but, I mean, they are all within inches of each other.
Mac actually goes down to the storm. Last second there, that's 12 left. 2 more players go down, and then everyone that's remaining gets 1 point. 1 more goes down to the storm. Well, the storm is still claiming players. 27 seconds left to the next move.
Reminds me of week 1 of the skirmish.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sorry, KL.
The storm still here. It's going to move to the top of the hill still. And actually, that shot you just had was the direction that it's moving. So it's moving from builds to builds that are already there. And Nate Hill here, player from FaZe, down at the bottom. He's bandaging. Actually, the med kit,
that med kit off
in
the last second. Look at this.
Looking around. He has quite a bit of medium ammo left, 210 shots. Unicorn's flying across, looking to make it into the next storm. Builds as he's flying, tries to establish himself.
Did
Looks like
Unicorn just fall down?
He just fell off the map. Top boy getting tagged up, building the floors, trying to build himself a layer, but he hasn't double layered any of this. So if somebody looks up and starts to take some shots or maybe sees where it's connected, he could get dropped early. Caro's looking back, editing himself through, trying to look for just sneak 1 shot in, but he cannot build. He's got 5 wood, 2 brick, and he goes down. 2 more lost in the storm. 8 players remaining, which means everybody that's left on your screen, as you see them, they're getting at least 1 point from game 2.
Yep. And now the next question comes in: who will make it to our top 3 to earn themselves another point, and who will keep that victory royale? Look at this blue tee all the way up top. He's just looking for free picks. When you're in the scenario, you have no intentions of dropping down unless someone forces you. He doesn't have a lot of metal left.
He's in a good spot for the next circle, though.
He is very, very close. And now he's going to actually get a little bit closer for a shotgun engagement.
Free fire the rocket, try and shoot. He tried to shoot back behind where there wasn't necessarily a wall to get some splash damage in on this player that's built in underneath him.
Oh, he wants this a limb now,
He does. It'll put him at 3.
Yep.
Plus, it'll put him to 5th place, and he's going to get it. That's 2 points in 1 shot there.
Yep. And now he's 1 more placing away from another point, which would put him at 3 this game. This is a brilliant performance right now from Blue Tee. We're in our top 4 again, folks. You already see Flame has 5 limbs. He's earned himself 3 already. He's 1 more placing away from earning another point.
3rd here.
Woo!
Blocking the rockets.
That wall just barely blocks the rocket in time.
The next circle, this is the one that closes all the way down. So players that have HP healing remaining and gets caught off guard by Nate Hill, sneaks inside and gets the elim, puts him at 6. The second one on Powder, 2 HP remaining. Are you kidding me?
Nate
1v1.
Hill, 7 limbs this game, and there he goes.
Goes down to Blue Tee. What a finish. Nate Hill playing absolutely out of his mind that game, but Blue Tee secures the elim.
He's fired up. You can see he was just hyped to get 7. At that point, yeah, he's counted up. He's counted up. I think he just made a gesture of, I believe that was what, 5? He got top 2, just plus 2, 7. Yeah, Nate just got 5 points for that game alone, folks. What a brilliant position. That was the final moment there from Blue Tee as well. So he had multiple limbs too.
Blue Tee taking on the win, and excellent timing on the push there to get in there on Nate, and just trading shots back and forth. Nate's aggressive gameplay there at the end, knowing that people are going to be lacking on HP, knowing that right now, in that moment, everybody's kind of stuck in a panic state because the zone's about to close. So he says, no, I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to heal fight this. I'm getting the elims.
I'm learning more and more why everyone is rocking the double barrel shotgun.
Oh, it hits like a bus.
It hits like a bus when you're in those final scenarios where it's literally everyone in 1x1s. It's like, guess what? Where it's weakest from range, when literally we're all hugging each other, it's going to be quite good. And Nate showed it right there. Those last 2 limbs coming in quite quick. What a power play from him to not only get top 2, 7+ limbs. We've got a quick look at a lot of his limbs from this one. We'll go ahead and bring that up for you folks at home. Again, recently signing to FaZe Clan, making waves already here in day 1 of the final week of the Summer Skirmish. A monster game from him.
This was earlier, the kind of cat and mouse between him and Enigma at this little like cave structure out here, and he catches him off guard. Enigma trying to build and save himself and just wasn't fast enough. Nate sneaking up on C9 Blind, another excellent player, but the drum gun, incredibly powerful. The fast build there, he built the ramp and then another ramp to just kind of close him out. And at that point, top down, Blind has to make a move, and Nate just waits for the timing. Just waits to the right second, takes a shot and gets it. Looking for Elam number 4. And the snipe, 86 meters. X is caught off guard, looking to third party himself, and Nate says, no, I got this first. The shot on Saint.
I mean, that's like 160 damage he's hitting right there.
It's so powerful up close and late game in these competitive matches, like you were saying, because everybody gets stacked on top of each other. There's a lot of close-up. Everybody's trying to hug, and if you have that double barrel, especially the legendary, it hits so hard.
It's quite good. So we've seen so many people putting up big numbers. We also had Haste Farico in that game, get some nice limbs there. We'll take a look at these clips as well. Trying to show some love to everyone participating here in the final week of the Fortnite Summer Skirmish.
That's really accurate long-range shots right of the last shot on Boss, just barely pulling it off. As you're saying, there's so many skilled players here. It's going to be tough to see everything. Fast edits from everybody. Everybody landed shots, really good pushes, including llama transitions.
That's the best transition I've ever seen in the history of sports.
I wish I had that.
Yeah, I need that. Yeah, can we actually take that for our own broadcast?
I think we can. It's got to be in the contract.
Either way, I don't think it is, but hey, let's go for it anyway. Again, the rule update that we keep mentioning. Tonight's match is going from 6 matches to 4, so we're halfway done with the action so far up to this point, and already we're seeing some of those people pushing towards the top. Again, top 33 from tonight qualified for Monday's grand final. We have more replays, though. These from Blue T, who won that last game, earning himself a +3 for the victory royale. And I think he got enough, too, for some limb bonus as well.
We'll have to see here towards the last clip how many eliminations he actually came away with. But really accurate shots, takes Fugues out, who at that moment was actually leading in eliminations. Yeah, that's got to feel good. He might not know that that Fugues had the most, but that's big. That's a big play. You see here, he's got 3 limbs already on top of the win. It's going to put him at 4, but it's not enough to push him to the 2-point limb bonus.
Actually basically limbed himself there because he had to move with the zone.
He did.
Shot out his own wall, and wow, look at the extreme joy that came from Blue T. He's a pro.
Confident.
He's good. He's like, oh, I won another game of Fortnite. I have a ton of those.
Another day in the office, Jack.
Right. And meanwhile, I'm winning my 1400th game and getting up and dancing like an idiot.
You played way too much Fortnite, Jack. I got to be honest with you. I'm right there with you. Don't worry.
No, don't worry. It's fine. You can never play too much, but either way, the action incredible so far. What's standing out for me? Double barrel shotguns, the late game build fights and quick edits.
Oh yeah.
And again, we haven't actually seen as much third partying as I would have thought in a lot of these battles because they're kind of ending so quick with the shotguns.
Players are choosing, I think, to wait till later because you get the points just for placing, and so they're favoring placement gameplay over maybe potentially aggressive.
Yep.
Waiting for those chances, and those last circles they're deadly every time you're seeing, and especially this one. The storm position was such that players had to move up a hill.
Oh yeah.
And last second movement like that, especially if you're forced to climb, it's going to be punishing if you don't move early. We saw that a lot of people went down to the Storm. Maybe the Storm being one of the best players in the game, Jack.
They've been racking up the points. Unfortunately for them, Storm can't win, thankfully.
They can't place.
Either way, we've had incredible action so far tonight. We're just halfway done with the action. We're going to go to a quick 5-minute break. When we come back, games 3 and 4.
Don't go anywhere.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are back live here from the summer skirmish. You might have caught the tail out of that. Lupo and I have a little discussion.
A lot of really notable players here. Some of the larger or even the largest names staying at home afraid, but that's just, that's just the way of the road, dude.
Who are you talking about?
I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe you could pon and we'll find out.
We love you, Tyler. We just saw your tweet. Again, everyone watching, hundreds of thousands watching online, a bunch here live at PAX, having a blast. This is just day number 1. We still have 2 more games to go tonight, and we'll keep you guys up to date on where everyone stands later on. But for now, we're going to be hopping right into the action here momentarily. All things considered, though, so far, games kind of acting as I thought. I will say, quite surprised with how intense these endings are. Even with normally how stacked with players it is already, like 20 players left for the final zones. We were seeing like 40 left for the final 2 zones.
An extremely high count versus even versus previous summer skirmish weeks. And it's the combination of maybe the ranking, landing top 10 gets you points. On top of that, $1.5 million. And if you make it to the grand finals, $5,000 minimum prize. You can't blame them, Jack. You can't blame them.
You can't. And we're ready. That's a sign of game number 3 about to be underway. The battle bus has launched. Let's get on into it. We know Struggs took game 1, blue team with game 2. Who's coming out on top in game number 3?
It puts them in really good positions. Like you said, the top 33 from each of these qualifiers gets in the grand finals. So some of these players, we might not even realize it, but players like blue team, Nate Hill, Struggs, they've already accrued enough points that they might be good to go. The point being, though, you can't get comfortable. You're going to see people that are still going to they're going to maintain the way that they played in previous matches. They're still going to drop into POIs that are maybe a little less populated. They're going to go for safe gameplay, and we're going to see that, I think, over the course of all of this. People are going to favor third party. People are going to favor safe gameplay. Try and build up a big arsenal of materials. You see on your screen, Tilted already looking maybe one of the hottest drops in Tilted we've seen thus far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 players there. And up here, Pleasant Park, it's Pleasant Park for a reason, Jack.
Yes, it is quite pleasant right now with only a couple players. Blue T, I think, again, landing at this house, a very similar location. Again, I referenced it earlier. This is where I actually landed for the E3 Pro-Am. But back then, this was a completely different area to loot because they had the crater still then, which obviously the map has been updated. And at the crater, there was like 3 or 4 chest opportunities. So there was more loot in that area. Now you kind of go there and you can still get a ton of wood. There's multiple mushroom spawns. And it's kind of one where you're like, I get one big house that's got a couple chests in it and hope that after that and the wood I have will be enough to kind of carry me through the start.
Now, in competitive matches, rotations are a very, very big part of putting yourself in a good position. And that term is basically what path do you take, where do you go, how do you play it to put yourself in a good position for the follow-up circles and where other players are going to be trending to move from. And Blue Tee, the winner from last round, landing at that house, at that point, with a position in the circle, moving into Pleasant, not necessarily the best choice. You see you're getting caught off guard. This is that Tilted is going to be hot. But Blue Tee, we'll see as this match plays out where he moves. That gameplay, that movement, if you're trying to improve your gameplay at home, that's going to be something to watch.
I believe Dremin wants Dimes, who is completely weak behind that wall, and that's a brilliant stink. That might eliminate him. That's how weak he was.
5 HP. It takes 5 HP, and that's all he needed.
And Dimes right now, I can tell you, he's not happy.
Doubtful.
He's probably saying words that I can't say on broadcast to himself right now as Dremin's going to continue to hunt.
He's still not alone here. At least 2 other players, I believe, are in this area. There's one to the west, there's one to the east, and one to the north around this area. Now, Vivid is somebody that we've been talking about a lot, and this is early game. Vivid goes down 95th,
Sheesh.
That means next game he's gonna pop off because that's who he is. Snood gets eliminated by Zate, an excellent player. The jump there and shot from the AR gets a headshot. I believe that was 76 damage. Back up here in Westworld, Karath's kind of looking around. He's looking to get a single shot.
And one thing I do want to point out just for everyone at home as this fight goes down, we'll go ahead and let this conclude, and then I'll get into what I was going to bring up. You see players trading damage right now. Dremin trying to stay alive. There's the quick headshot. Bye-bye Carrots. And there's a golden legendary assault rifle for you as a reward. Dremin already 2 elims. This could be the 3rd right here if he can somehow take down Crypto, and it won't happen. But the point I was going to bring up, tiebreakers will be determined in the following order. Total victory royales, total eliminations during the event, average placement across the games, and then finally a coin flip. So the big thing is the limbs during the event, during these qualifiers, versus the average placement. You just saw that 95th for Vivid with 0 limbs is not going to help him in either way in those tiebreakers where, remember, top 33 move on. But again, not everyone's going to have points, so it could come down to 15, 20 people who have 0 who are trying to move on through.
Because of the tiebreakers, that means that even if you don't get enough eliminations to secure a point, playing for a solid, even just 1, can mean the difference between making it in or not. Because if you have a large number of players that are tied for 33rd, 1 or 2 eliminations could decide whether or not you squeak through to the next round. Hysteria in the feed, sniping Cosmo, who we followed last game in a couple cat and mouse engagements, a 22-meter snipe, but this is back in tilted. Wait, so one of these players is going to wait for a third party. Lavish actually might be too far away in the top of the gray building, up here in Junk, way in the northwest corner. Freak trying to get a few shots in. The build fight coming out. Cans himself in, or his opponent cans him in with a floor. He's going to try and build and counter and get up top. Goes for an edit and a peek shot.
Now Marksman for the third party. Marksman now dropped way low. He's trying to pop minis in time. Not going to happen.
I believe the third party might be Blue Tea, who pushed north potentially at this point.
No, it's Diabolic. It's Diabolic. And that's right now Marksman is so upset, but that's the way of the road. That's just how it works.
He's sneaking around. The audio cues again. He's trying to find where Freak went. That building, moving inside the building, and you see he might be standing at the top of something. Might be standing at the top of stairs there.
Yep.
Kind of between floors, waiting to listen for Diabolic's push, maybe choose which direction to go, or even just a bait play. If he has like a trap, he can wait for Diabolic to move inside, place the trap, and start engaging with a shotgun.
Trying to break on in. What will he spot? Freak is somewhere down here. Remember, the storm just began to push up, and they are out of the zone.
They're not terribly far, but it's far enough that you can't wait too long.
I'd love to if we can potentially just pull up the map for a second. And
that's the snipe.
That was the replay from earlier.
That was the replay from earlier. That shot from Hysteria, a very quick snipe.
I'd love to potentially bring up the map when we get a chance, when some of the action dies down for a moment, just to see how central this zone is. As Freak is going to go ahead and try to push the agenda on this engagement. Does he get the wall down? He does, but the player should just build above him. And Freak realizes it. Now he's going to try to fight for this high ground, but look at how high up his opponent is. Freak like he's got the high ground back.
Blocks his opponent out, who backs up. He's trying to go for Oh, man. The top-down advantage swap back and forth over and over again. These players always trying to outbuild each other, and they're so good at it. They keep swapping positions.
Ooh.
A ton of fall damage. Takes a shot. This Freak is going to try and hide underneath. He's very low on materials. 3 builds left from Freak. Diabolic has the top down and the shotgun out. Look at this. They're both popping slurps simultaneously.
The zone is there, folks. And there's the view of that map. Look at how central this zone is, Lupo.
Gets a little tap. They're tickling each other as they try and move inside the zone at the same time. Difference here, Diabolic has a ton of builds. A ton of materials left. He's going to go for this peek shot with the shotgun. And there it is.
What a beautiful juke right there. Diabolic playing with his opponent there will go ahead and get that elim, and now he's got to immediately run. There is a rift area.
The Easter Island head out there that he runs into. A number of those spawn around there.
So he should have some opportunities to rift out.
He's lucky enough in one's there. He can make his way in with a rift. If not, I think the distance is coverable still, that he can get all the way in. Right now, the scoreboard, by the way, Nate Hill's the only player left alive with 2 eliminations. Dremen had 2, but he's been eliminated early, so Nate's in a good position. Second from last game. Blue Tea is still out there moving around. Jack actually just picked up his 2nd elimination as well. The view here, here's a Diabolic.
He did get the rift.
The rift, as we were saying, that's the position that you want to be in. The rift changing his approach big time. The southeast corner here, Cayenne looking around in a kind of a tight 1v1. Right at the edge of the zone, potentially third partying.
Yep. He's looking for anything here.
Somebody's just hanging out in the open.
120 damage pop, and just a quick little reset. As you see, people already playing the edge of the zone. Zate
just waiting. Chances are, at this position, he was waiting. He heard his opponent, or potentially ran into him right before that. He's even triangle building himself in to prevent his opponent from doing so, and quickly editing through as he moves up. The defensive builds, that right now seems like the big. It's the game changer between an extremely good player and a scary good player. His opponent actually built up a ramp.
That's all he can build. He's out of builds. Look at how awkward this is right now for Salt. He's still got a ton of HP, though, and he's going to look for a reset on the fight. He's very low on ammo as well. This is another one of those scenarios, Lupa, where Salt has to win this. This is an all-in fight. If he like disengages, what does he have to his name? Some SMG ammo? No way.
You even see there, he forgot he ran out of materials. He tried to build to protect against Zayd's push, and it wasn't enough.
That was just, it's your hand is forced. When you've got that little, it's like, I have to fight this guy, because if I leave this, I can't build. I have no ammo to shoot people. I have to take these materials. And unfortunately, it doesn't work out for him there.
Interestingly enough, too, right before the cutaway from Zayd, he had almost no materials on his own. So at that point, a push from both players was the only option, or they run away from each other, which in a situation like that, especially a top-down advantage, it's not going to happen. Johnny here looking down to try and take advantage of maybe a weakened opponent underneath him. He doesn't realize Huckle Guy almost half of Johnny's HP. The trap going out, kind of a protective trap just in case his opponent builds up underneath him, tries to sneak into a situation, or even a third-party push happens, which with the way that these players have been playing, kind of unlikely. I almost feel like some people can assume there won't be third-partying some of the time. A rift off in the back there, but Johnny is not worried about that right now. He's worried about this opponent, Huckle Guy, getting on top of him.
Oh, he just left.
And he said, no, thank you. I'm gonna head out here. You see on your screen, tons of players with 2 eliminations.
Wow.
Nobody has 3. No single point for elim count yet, but it's gonna happen soon.
Yep. A lot of people could tick forward with this one.
A lot of people very far from the storm, too. One player even over 500 is Amaze. EU Amaze is 560 meters from the storm, the next circle. He has a long way to go, and it looks like a lot of these players do. That means that people are going to start running into each other on the move.
Yep.
And they won't have structures built. There won't be a layer of safety there, so you're going to see a lot of, like we saw earlier, phase replays taking that shot on the move, the snipe shot while they were trying to push with the zone. That's going to happen in situations like this with so many players.
Here's an example of it right now. It's going to be KU and try to push on in. Watching their back for a second. They obviously don't have all the information we do.
All these players moving simultaneously.
It's a feeling where you're like, I won't shoot you if you don't shoot me. Like you're thinking in your head, please don't.
Gentleman's agreement.
Please
no,
don't.
Thank you. As we were just talking about replays. Lucky for everybody, he's not sitting on a sniper rifle right now.
Right.
But he still has a very powerful up-close loadout. Even that the Portafort can come in handy in very close 1v1 engagements where you need structure instantly. That thing builds tons of metal. Give you a top-down on a player. Now, Dester, we watch.
This is an abysmal position.
It is a bad spot. He is
one
underneath.
Build. He has one build, and look.
The storm's
Papa
still moving.
Storm is there.
He's got to move. Duble's got to move. He does have a campfire. He doesn't necessarily have to move just yet.
He's playing for this one limb. And unfortunately for him, Diggy's above him still.
Now, I'm not even sure Double is playing for the elimination. In this situation, he had a slurp rolling and put down the campfire. He's playing for the storm to push his opponent away so he can move at just the right time. He doesn't necessarily have to engage, but he does need his opponent to leave. Otherwise, it might still defeat for him.
Oh, gosh. Diggy is at 4 limbs right now, so this would be a 5th elim to earn 2 points this game. Diggy peeking. Does he decide to pop the medkit? It doesn't appear so as of yet. He wants this fight. I think he's worried about his opponent potentially dropping the storm down to just 16 HP to build up.
It's too late
he does
to
get
pop
above
that
his opponent.
He's got to go for the elimination.
Look at how quick. Oh,
he
my
gets it
goodness,
the last second.
Trap a limb, and there he goes. Diggy with 5 limbs in the last moment. A brilliant trap there to earn the final point.
He opted to die to the storm, get the 5th elimination for the 2nd point instead of healing.
That man was doing that all on a controller.
Absolutely mind-boggling.
Are you kidding me?
Top of Dusty here, Ashton built
They've
up.
watched a lot of Nick Merckx, I can just tell.
Oh, yeah. It explains why he dropped tilt. Actually, I don't know if he dropped tilted all the time.
Just made that up.
If you watch too
it
much.
Explains why he's flexing his trap muscles.
Exactly.
There you go.
Ashton moving off of Dusty. This situation, there, he's pretty far, maybe one of the furthest players from the zone because you see there on the screen, the position. The number of players, there are actually not very many on the west side, almost nobody in the northwest corner, but the south side is, because it's the circle is so far northeast, the south side of the zone, if you're down there, you're in a bad spot. Early move is going to be, in my opinion, better. You get into the safe zone quicker, but you see there around the tunnel, the map just a second ago, there were a lot of players built up in that area, which means third partying is going to be heavy if you're moving in from the south. Maybe early movement. It should be running through everybody's mind.
Yep.
Get in the zone, get safe, and you can join on the third party, party, as they say. I don't think they say that, but
I think I've never heard that, but I like it.
Not a single time. We're starting it now, Jack.
Look at the inventory now for Top Boy. Got the shotgun swap, the SMG spray, jug,
launch pad,
over
1,000 material, 1,200 material. He's got a ton of build. Top Boy's in a great spot.
He wants his build early.
Looks like a build fight. His opponent right there.
And this is a sign of an opponent that they're not looking for a fight.
Nope.
Even though Animal still has that much health, he can almost play mind games. If you're Top Boy, you're thinking, wait, this guy's playing extremely defensively. I'm thinking he doesn't have much health, right? Meanwhile, Animal's full HP. He's more than ready for a fight.
Top Boy maybe making the decision here and say, okay, you can stay down underneath me. I'm going to sit at the edge of the circle and play safe, get some more material, because just a moment ago he was at 800. He burnt almost 300 material just in that engagement, just pushing over the top of Animal, who is an editing machine underneath, making sure that he's safe, as many layers between him and Top Boy as possible. The speed of these edits, man, just blows my mind sometimes.
It looks like he just turned his head, but instead he also edited his ramp to reset. Like, okay. And right now, most eliminations. Diggy, we saw with 5 earlier on. Ironically enough, the longest elimination is from Salt at 173 meters.
Wow. 40 plus minutes. The dance moves from Top Boy, is that almost a taunt?
I think so.
Saying, I'm up here and I'm not leaving. We're roommates now.
That's a statement.
Ashton, a lot of players right here, Jack, we've seen that a ton of times. What's the point of that kind of building? Right there, building the surface above you. Why do these competitive players do that?
It's simple. Cover. He sees these 1x1s right next to him. He sees these players in these little towers. What are they going to do? They're going to shoot down on you. So how do you protect yourself? You build yourself a roof. Simple as that. Ashton now looking for the reset. He wants to move early. He's going to land right on this player at the temple.
It's well, now he's going to build more of those layers above the cover. And then he put himself in a safe spot. He's bunkered down in tomato temp.
Kind of taking a breather, right? He just did so much movement. He's going to reset for a second, kind of get his foothold, look around, see who's in his surroundings. I think it's also key to stop and just listen. Where are fights happening? Where can I potentially third party? Like this, for example. Building those windows, it gives you an idea that he's kind of thinking, okay, I'm looking to shoot someone in the back, maybe pick up a free limb. Because he only needs one more limb to earn a point.
Yeah, he's watching through. These players, they'll do an edit and they'll reset immediately because especially with the brick, as the bricks are filling in the gaps, you can see through what hasn't been filled in as the HP fills up.
Yeah.
And so he might not be editing, but he's still looking through, trying to watch for opponents on rotation, see if it's an opportune time to stick his head out and take some tap fires at people. Severin moving right now, trying to get in the zone early. He's staying underneath people. Doesn't realize, yes, Brandon is right above him. He's got a number of other players that he's moving underneath. I think at this point, you can almost assume at least 3 people are above you no matter where, because there's 36 people left and the next zone is closing. This is the last one. Jack Fort starts to move, and that's where we're going to see big waves of eliminations, players putting themselves.
And it's still
really
another northeastern zone. Yep. You see that? People still having to move up to that northeast.
Top Boy and Animal still both alive, still both moving basically in the same cadence right now as they're trying to get in the zone. Uh-oh. Here we go. The switch of position. Animal's now above Top Boy. Actually, that's not Animal. Basuji has moved in above Top Boy, trying to get into maybe a last-second elimination as the zone closing in here. And they're both outside the zone. They're going to have to make a move here. Basuji decides to move up and get a shot from that might be Animal above.
He's not getting third parties. He's getting 7 parties. Literally everyone is shooting at him right now.
30 people and half the lobby is unloading medium rounds on whatever he builds.
And apparently he's still alive.
Somehow. You see he's got Basuji roughly 30, 40 HP. Top Boy and Animal now fighting it out yet again. It's like Wailing Woods rematch.
28 players remaining. Here's Lavish earlier on.
Gets Johnny inside Tomato. Down underneath, a spray from the SMG.
And can you tell what side of the zone we're on? All these people stacked? Yeah, this is where they had just moved in from the far end of the zone. Povsey, who we saw with the awkward bounce pad play earlier, he's actually already in the next zone area.
You'll notice he's not carrying any bounce pads this time.
He saw them earlier, just dropped them on the ground.
No, thank you. A lot of top-down play. Punisher in a really good spot, but remember, the top of these buildings right now is not necessarily the biggest advantage. We've seen a lot of crazy plays from underneath. You can have people that will capitalize on your build if you're very high. They'll use explosives to drop your structure down and catch you off guard as you're falling in. Those eliminations are big too, because you take people out of their towers, you reset structure, and that means that you can decide what to build there if you take that position. They could be in really good spots. These players are going to have to move northwest here.
That was 3. That's 3 for phase replays, putting him at 1 point this game.
A replay from earlier, a replay of replays from earlier. See that? Oh my gosh, the shotgun shot on Kayun. What a play there. 26 left. Punisher is in a wonderful spot right now. But the number of players underneath, Psalm, Nogops, DMO, Vide. You have so many people here.
Sitting patiently waiting. He's got to move so far. Top Boy's going to definitely use his launch pad here. Almost certainly. There it goes.
Moving into the zone now. He's got to decide where to go, and that's going to be rough. There are a lot of structures here, and nowhere is safe.
Except for
maybe right there, the one spot that he could build. Even then, and here you go. Like, everybody's trying to move in right now. These builds just put up as many layers as they can. Animal's moving into the bounce pans. He still has 2 left, so he can make a play. He can make a push. And Turkey Lips trying to get the third party from the top of the building, taking those the purple AR tap fire shots.
Every player with 3+ elims has been eliminated.
They're shot.
Turkey Lips
getting his 3rd elim there. That gives him a point for this round. Saint going down outside of that. And Animal gets eliminated as well. Turkey Lips securing that one. That's his 4th elimination. One more will put him at 2 points, Jack. But he's got to take a second here to heal.
Yep.
And hopefully nobody heals
look at
that.
He's the only player still in contention with eliminations. Try to push towards that top 10 to earn another point as well. One more limb would net him another point. Turkey Lips, someone we got to keep an eye on in this game as it continues to develop. No heals, though, for his HP.
Trying to build up a little, the back out to jump and ramp so he can get up on top.
What a shot that is.
The top right corner of your screen, the top center, every edge except for the south side. Povsy might be in the best position of everybody because there's nobody around him. He can wait.
He's just chilling at the moment. Turkey Lips still in this building. He's so frantically hoping, Lupo, that someone just peeks too far that he can get a free shot on.
He's trying to take advantage of this too. All these different structures going up, and he has 1 grenade left. You got to make this one count.
I don't think it didn't happen. Morgos eliminates Diabolic. Vide eliminates Nikiski.
The storm starts to move. That bottom right corner, tons of players are going to be forced into engagements with each other. 12 left, 2 more go down.
Gone. That was Turkey Lips with another limb. He's earned himself 2 points. Look at the edits. He's lost the high ground. Turkey Lips making monster plays right now. He's got players in front of him again.
Looks like Punisher has basically 0 HP. All he needs to do is breathe on him funny and gets another elimination. Punisher actually goes down to Brandon, and everyone moving in there. But right now, what's funny, everybody was forced north, and now they're from south.
He's getting Oh,
are you kidding me, dude?
Oh no, Turkey Lips! What a play! Uses that new double barrel to blow up that wall in front of him, and just like that, he says, "Povsy, my friend, no. That ain't happening." Gets the high ground, and now he's looking for the retake in this engagement. What a play to dodge the trap.
9 players left. Everyone that's left alive now has at least 1 point.
That launch pad looks so juicy.
Just outside the zone. I would bet you in this situation, Psalm will push with that and utilize
it. The zone's going to push that way.
He's in a great spot for it. He's going to get there ahead of everybody else. Here it comes.
He can wait and then use that at the last second. Watch. Boom. High ground.
Fly with it.
He might hit it again. He might hit it again.
Come back. He's trying to get ahead. He does realize somebody's there. Doesn't know that it's 72 hours. Now Brandon's using it. That might be one of the most used launch pads in this game.
With 6 limbs. How has he done this with just 70 HP? No!
Get caught outside the zone. The tick, and he died.
Earned himself another point, though, for top 10. Yep. Povsy now on the high ground. Building on up. Top 5 players now. Povsy in the top 5. Needs 1 more limb to earn a point, though, for eliminations this game.
Shots down below. He knows at least 1 player's trapped inside there. Kind of trying to poke a little bit, maybe get a reveal on somebody and see if he can. He might even be able to provoke.
That's not held up by a lot. That's not held up by a lot at all.
The majority is outside the zone, too, so he won't be able to build and reinforce it. If somebody sees that, they can take him all the way down, but he's going to move before we even get to that point. He wants to get involved with these fights. There's a chance that he could get a third-party kill on somebody that's not watching. It's elimination and
no mats.
72 hours down.
Look at the rest of his inventory, though. Look at the med kit, the chug jug.
Dual drum guns.
That's all you need, I guess.
72 hours probably looking to play for the very last circle to close, but having no builds remaining is going to be really tough. There is somebody inside there, the drum gun. Hold down that left mouse click and see if he can knock in. Move around the outside. He's going to try and make a play. A flank.
Are you kidding me?
72 using the storm to hide and gets the elimination on Psalm.
1 versus 1. 2 players remaining. 72 hours trying to stay alive. He's got no builds left. It's Brandon who's close. Only 31 HP. If this goes down to a heal fight, 72 hours wins it. Without a case, but there's the engagement trying to build on up. A quick shotgun blast. The second comes in as well. Brandon down to just 54 HP. 72 hours. Popping minis. The zone's closing on in. He's got to go for this right now. Brandon dropping on in. 72 hours into the zone. Oh, are you kidding me? With 3 HP. And the spray of the drum gun wins the game and earns those final points.
72 hours shows why he's one of the best players out right now, making the choice earlier before this engagement to push out the storm. And yet again, spraying that drum gun, man, comes in clutch every time.
He used 2 drum guns. His whole inventory was 2 drum guns.
Healing and drum guns, it's all you need, Jack. If 72 hours knows how to utilize, especially those positional plays. He doesn't have any materials, waits to the last second, the rotate outside through the storm. Yeah, I'm going to take some damage, but look at my inventory. I've got a med kit, I've got a chug jug, I don't care. I can push for this elimination, and he got it.
Pushes into that zone. To recognize the build and to think, yes, it's worth me going in and taking 20-plus points of damage, to then get the flank on my opponent, get that free limb. Remember, he had 0 build left. So what did he do? He fell to the low ground, made sure there was no traps, fought in those close walls. He was worried about pushing on in, because if he pushes in, his opponent places a wall, he places a trap on that. There's a lot of things he can do to catch him off guard. What a play at the end from 72 hours. But he wasn't one of the only stars in that game. Turkey Lips went off as well, Lupo. 6 limbs for him. Just fell short, literally, of that 7th limb.
Including this snipe there on Axis as the storm's starting to close in. He secured a number of eliminations on players that were caught totally off guard because his position, his awareness of their position right there, another one, a maze getting stuck inside a box as the storm is moving. He's playing intelligently. He's playing for an advantageous position for his opponents. And even right there, watching for when Sofa wasn't looking before he knocked the surface out, smacks it out and switches the shotgun and gets another one.
It's so well done because we saw that entire time he had, I believe, a max of about 75 health.
That was it.
And still got all those limbs because he knew the exact times he needed to peak. He didn't get overly aggressive. Brilliant plays there from Turkey Lips, someone who I've faced off against a bunch. And by the way, also great guy. Absolutely great guy. Met him in the airport. Cool dude. 72 hours, we got more highlights from you, my friend. We've been talking a lot about you. Let's show everyone how you did it. That was the limb on the Sinful. Pops into the storm, and this is one of the smartest plays I've seen so far.
Moving, especially when your opponent is distracted in another engagement, moving outside the storm, these top players are going to use their HP even as a currency. It's sort of in a way to say, you know, it's a resource. I've got materials, yeah, but I also have hit points that I can use to survive outside the storm where players aren't necessarily looking. And right there, knowing exactly where his opponent is going to be and spraying at the corner as they were trying to build, trying to defend themselves, and it was not enough. And he takes game 3 home.
And what I love right there is kind of the camaraderie that's been built now in competitive Fortnite scene. Those were 2 players from 2 different teams, all competing in a solo thing there. But everyone knows just how much it is to win in that final scenario. You see there, you know, I believe, is that what, C9 and Liquid? 2 different players from 2 different teams, you know, getting together and still talking. They played a ton online, but even in that final moment, you know how tough it is to win a competitive solo like that, and then with the stakes that's here, you got to give them props right away.
The tension is incredibly high. The pressure on these players to perform, especially because right now, if you miss out on your chance, that's it. You got to make it in. Top 33 from these qualifiers go to the grand finals on Monday.
And we're going to have those people by the end of this next heat. One more game to play. At this point, if you have 0 points going into this game, Lupo, what is your strategy?
Safe play. Okay. You can wait for these opportunities. We saw from players like Turkey Lips that last game. Third party, take advantage. You don't have to play aggressive. Wait for other players to play aggressive. Wait for them to make the mistakes. We've been talking about Vivid a lot, and we have to wait for him to put on a good show in this last one. This is his chance to strike because you know he can do it. We've seen him do it countless weeks before this. He's won 4 of the 7 skirmish weeks, and so this last match might be the chance for him. Take advantage of position, play in just the right spots, go for it.
Ben, I've got some good news.
Tell me.
We have a standings update for everybody at home.
We have numbers.
We stand
Give them
after
to me.
the first 3 games. 72 hours with that victory. Royale moves to our top spot at 8 total points. Turkey Lips, 11 limbs topping the boards at 4 total points as well. You see United's Jack in our top 10. But then as we move towards the bottom, 2 points is top 16. Remember, our top 33 move on to that finals on Monday. Sinful, 17th. Sofa in 20th.
Now, you see right there, 32nd is 3 eliminations, 1 total point. Jack, that means you come away with 3, 4, 5 eliminations this last game. That puts you into the grand finals. Anybody can still make it in.
Yeah.
Literally anyone that's playing in this next game.
That's such a good point.
It's crazy.
Anyone up to this point can still make it out, and that's the beauty of it. And guess what? If you're like, oh, 1 final game, I'm sad, don't worry, we're back again tomorrow. 4 more games to see who exactly can make it in as our next 33 players. So many big names participating as well. You know, people we haven't seen tonight that'll be here this weekend. We mentioned Myth earlier on.
He's on the way.
Tifu, if you've ever heard of him, he's okay. He's done okay before.
I've heard of him before.
So many big names. Just wait and see. It's going to be a ton of fun. Again, shout out to everybody who's been watching live. Shout out to everyone who's online. Show some love in the chat. Again, use that hashtag summerskirmish.
Tag us in clips online. We want to see the stuff that you guys have enjoyed the most from these events, even previous summer skirmishes, because this stuff, these are some incredible plays from incredible players, and there's situations that maybe won't come up again this week, but we want to talk about them. We got to talk about them. Duos, solos, everything. Yeah. Every little bit counts, Jack.
We've got our game 4 about to begin, but before then, we've got a little montage of some of the players that are here this weekend. Let's have a watch.
I've just played the game so much. I've been putting in minimum 10 hours a day for the past 5 months.
You came all the way from the UK just for this.
I put in over 12 to 14 hours a day every day. I want to win more than anyone here.
I'm confident. I beat some of the top guys all the time, so I just know I have what it takes.
I put the money maybe towards college and making this like a possible career for myself in the long term.
I just want to beat everyone else, just to know I beat them on the inside, so I can tell my mom. She'll be proud of me.
Jack, I'm proud.
Game 4, man, it's coming up. I'm so excited.
I'm ready.
The gameplay thus far has been it's been exceptional. Seeing these players, the decisions that they make, the positions that they put themselves in, man, I'm writing stuff down too. I got to take notes.
There's one thing I have after watching this, I'm like, I'm glad I didn't play.
Yeah.
For everyone that's been asking, I'm glad I'm casting.
Here we see in the feed, Courage JD going down from.
I'm
looks
guaranteed
like
to make money this
bludgeoned him.
weekend up here casting, and I have no pressure.
You can't
It's
lose,
great.
Jack.
It
You
is
can't
great.
lose.
No, but we've had a lot of fun so far. Hope you guys can tell. We should be getting into the game here momentarily. I'm looking 2, 1, I believe.
And away we go.
The bus is about to go. Ladies and gentlemen, game number 4, our final match of the night. Who will be our top 33 to qualify for Monday's $1.5 million grand finals?
Final week of Summer Skirmish, Jack, and here we go, game 4. Put
it?
some noise in the house here, please.
I love it.
As we fly in, you're going to see players starting to jump out. A lot of people jumping out very early, trying to look for a spread, maybe greasy, flush. You see people pushing across east and northwest immediately. Every single POI, and even the locations that don't have a label on them, yeah, we have nicknames and stuff for them, but I feel like everywhere is hot right now. Yep. There's an even spread of players across the entire map, but that's not necessarily the case in every POI. Even last game we saw Tilted had a number of people drop in it very early. We've had some of these POIs that are larger retail and Pleasant have a couple players drop at them. You see in your bottom right there, winner from last game, 72 hours, trying to decide where he's going to go.
Oh my gosh.
Tilted is heated. Retail is hot as well. You get to see people pushing across the Lonely Lodge.
Him and Vivid are actually very close to each other, which is kind of funny.
72 hours, looking for the underneath the tunnel drop. Potentially he's going to pop in the top here and drop down the stairs. Flowers from C9 and Tilted. There's about 15 other people here.
Oh, he didn't finish that big shield.
Did not.
So he'll have to reset, redo that. And there you see Tilted Towers. So here's the beauty. This building updating each week, Lupo. There's actually so many of these pallets on the bottom floor now.
You can come out here with so much wood.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if he breaks all these pallets, he'll finish with probably at least 275, 300 wood.
You get the layer above, too. You're sitting on maybe 500 to 600.
Oh, yeah.
This is a spot that I've routinely dropped now, and a ton of players have dropped, is that the new building, and I'm looking forward to seeing what Epic does with that.
Horfly's got literally one of every weapon.
He has every gun in the game right now, doesn't need the heals. He's looking for a bolt action shot, and maybe somebody that doesn't have shield.
And his pink lunchbox on his back.
An early game bolt jack can mean really fast elimination secured. If you hit somebody, even a body shot, that's 105 damage. No shield, that's an elimination.
Yep.
And he's trying to spot anybody. There's
your zone.
The most aggressive third partying we're probably going to see, because he knows he can catch somebody off guard. That's points.
There's your look at your zone.
Even eliminations for tiebreaker.
That is true. The elims for tiebreaker are going to be, that's where all the nuttiness is going to come in.
Maze, the stink bomb. He doesn't realize Johnny's all the way down bottom of Maze.
Yep.
That stink is ineffective.
And that was key. He actually spotted the third party before they could get close.
Here, Flame and Povsy. The third party, though. Flame gets a shot on Povsy, gets the elimination. He's got to immediately build and defend himself. Does not have a lot of build left, though. No platform left.
Did he just ripped it to go? And Flame's going to try to follow us up and get out in time. Wow. So here's what just happened. That player rifted to go to try to get to the high ground. Flame then immediately dropped down, used that rift to go, and then I believe the player who originally used it didn't get back down in time to use it again to follow Flame. So Flame just had a free get out of jail free card, and he's going to reset to another area on the map.
Intelligent play from Flame there, following an immediate elimination too. Back over here in Salty, Prodigy Aces trying to sneak. He's to track down a target or two underneath him. Shido is just waiting. Saint maybe pushing him to the third party soon. It looks like he might be over at the hunting lodge over there. Potentially, he's probably too far away, but it might not matter. Now over the bridge, this is between Risky and Lazy Lynx.
And there goes Lasius.
A very long-range grenade shot from up top.
Right.
Prodigy getting another elimination. Gets Shido underneath. This is who he was tracking, waiting to see if he could find them.
This is brilliant for him. This is going to put him at 196 hit points after he's all said and done using these shields as well as the cozy campfire. Soul trying to keep this high ground, a quick pump shot, having to swap to the silent pistol, not the best swap weapon, I can promise you that.
His alternative, though, was a hunting rifle. It's kind of his only option.
You never know.
he could swap out. There was an SMG right there in front of him as he moved into the bottom of that building, trying to kind of hide from Dremen, who the attack shotgun right now is going to be really key. You just left click over and over again, consistent damage if you're up close. Doesn't matter if it's gray or not, that thing could still hit like a bus if your aim is true.
See all the limbs so far. Soul has got himself up to just shy of 130 HP. He's gonna go and pop that. Putting him at 123. Looking for a quick little peek. Dremen, look at how weak he is.
One
no
pump
shields.
Shot. Sour going for a flank. Gets it. Gets Dremen. The third party from Wheats. 66 meters. That might not have been a shot meant for him, but he took it midair.
And I just pointed out how much health he had, right? He was feeling good at 123 HP, because that's enough to save you from any bolt or hunting rifle shot. Well, guess what? Wheats had the heavy sniper rifle. The heavy sniper, the epic version, 150 to the body. As Wheats clips him right there, he's now earned himself all this loot. He's got a rift to go. He's got minis. He's got 700 plus mats. Wheats in a brilliant spot.
No minis will save you from that heavy sniper, as you're saying. It's kind of the same position as the trap damage right now. Yep. 150 is more than what some players can. It's tough to buffer up against that. Even minis won't be enough. It's the boogie bomb.
What?
Nibs now dancing for his life.
Ripmate's got to go for this.
Pushing in, the shotgun gets him. A shield tag, 24-20. Can't land it, Nibs gets him. 17 HP.
I'm mad for him.
That shotgun, the body shot, not enough there to put him low.
He made the right play. He had to go.
As soon as
if you land a boogie bomb,
push,
5 seconds, you have to push that.
Unlucky shots from the SMG, and Nibs turned it around on him. 72 Hours, our winner from last round, sitting on 80 HP right now.
To be completely clear, no matter what happens in 72 hours in this game, the man's qualified for Monday.
Oh, yeah. He's good. He's good to go.
He's good. Sitting pretty in first.
Ooh,
he's done.
Landrak gets the drop on him, but you don't come away from that upset.
No.
You look forward to Monday. You focus on what's next.
Absolutely.
Now back. Landrak sitting on 2 eliminations. One more gets him a point from this round, the 4th round, the last round for these Grand Final qualifiers this evening.
Again, cannot be stressed enough. We are playing only 4 games for these late night qualifiers now. Rule change came in earlier on.
That applies to all 3 days.
Yes.
Been pleasant, some movement there. This is the top left, the replay.
That was how he got to this point and earned himself the chug jug, the med kits, everything.
His kit right now looking exceptional. A green AR for like kind of mid to long range slow tap fire.
There's the rips by the Durburger up here. He sees one just over that hill.
He might take a point or 2 of damage from the storm, but I mean the position that he's in right now is so good. He's going to be able to choose where he wants to go with a rift. He's not going to get threatened by anybody on his way in. There's nobody else there. Meanwhile, back at Tilted, it's still hot. Still players in here. I believe 4 at the moment. He's getting third party from outside. Double says, I would like to get that elimination. Tries that blue hunting rifle. One of my favorite snipes, but sniper rifles in competitive matches early to mid game are fantastic, but you're going to see everybody, you're going to see people drop those typically. Maybe not the heavy snipe just because that amount of damage and its ability to drop a surface in one shot. Players can use that aggressively. You can be point blank, quickly shoot out a wall in one shot and push in and swap to maybe a drum gun. The fall damage there, though.
And this was so smart. You see there, winds up, did he get the pyramid off? I believe he did.
The rocket giving out 90 HP remaining, does 110. Launchpad could not jump onto it. Federico gets the elimination before that escape, and it looks like Federico actually has the launchpad of his own now.
What Cerverzo was doing that whole time was he was dropping down that structure to where there was only one area left that he could C4. Unfortunately, wasn't able to follow it up with the elim himself. This was horrifying. He used double C4s to eliminate his opponent in the new building in Tilted.
We're going for the shot.
Doable tried something fancy there. He's really looking for a quick little snipe.
It looked like a head shake of frustration at the end.
Call that an ogre twitch. Not really. It wasn't really an ogre twitch.
There's more. Those are circles. Yeah, circles. Somebody hiding on the stairs. Double's going to have to build up a couple layers there. 54 HP left. He still does have 2 minis, so he can get the most out of his minis, which he's going to do right now before the zone moves. He's got 1 minute and 10 seconds. With his player underneath him knows he just got a big shot. Probably saw the white damage number pop out, which means whether it was amazed or horrified, depending on the position, they know that whoever's up top, they're not sitting pretty right now. So a push could happen.
Absolutely.
But third partying is still, I mean, you see on the map there's still 5 players in Tilted. 5 in that little area, and that's going to move soon. They're all going to run into each other because the push out to the river right there, Jack, it's super exposed. There's not a whole lot of coverage. You have to move across the river. Horrify goes down to a Maze.
Maze did take a little bit of damage. Thankfully, he does have 1 mini to give him 25 more shield.
And just some information for players watching. Turkey Lips is the only player right now with 3 or more eliminations. He's sitting on 3. Which means he's got 1 more point from this game alone.
And
nobody
he's
else
already with the most elims of the entire event so far in these qualifiers.
I believe this what puts him at 14.
14 elims in we're only 3.5 games in. That is
crazy.
Absurd.
Maze still making some moves out there at Tilted. There's still a number of players left, but back here in Salty, Alfano's trying to building up a resource buffer is what he's smacking the cars. Cars, one of the best metal resources in, one of the only metal resources in Salty, and even though he's sitting on a ton of materials, Jack, he wants more. Yep. Going for as many as possible is so crazy important. You see on your screen, by the way, Sofa, one of the winners of our heats from earlier today, has 3 eliminations as well. So that's a point for him too.
Yep. We talked about literally 1 point. 3 elims could mean all the difference. As 32nd coming into this game, 32nd had 3 elims and 1 total point.
Hysteria gets elimination on Regan 57, who's trying to build up, trying to keep himself protected, but it looks like the quick placement edit from Hysteria, that kind of angled wall, That's all it takes. Snood and Ashen pushing in above him as Hysteria's cleaning up the remnants of his opponent down there. Smacking it. You see a lot of players, if the material's not there, if the walls, the surfaces are not theirs, they're going to knock him out. And if he's trying to can himself up in there, he'll immediately replace him. Now, it looked like Hysteria's looking to pick up an elimination or two in there.
Yep. Now, I don't know if Hysteria actually has any points so far, but he has to load out this game to do it. And he knows that as well. He's got the launch pad. Look at the double, triple C4 coming on in. He is making it rain C4s, and Jack is frustrated. I can promise you that.
An excellent attempt there. Landjock has been playing exceptionally well. That gives him 3 points, or 3 eliminations, which is a point. Lavish. You notice he's just bandaging up. He's not building. He's not moving. The little stutter steps. He's waiting to see maybe where this opponent is. Try and catch him off guard.
It's Snood who's just in front, and look at how healthy Snood is at the moment.
You see the look. That's the look of determination.
He's not safe. He's got to move in with the zone.
He's going to have to move in. Next is another one of our players with 3+ eliminations, giving him at least point pop in the minis, give himself a buffer. He's in a good spot, though. He doesn't necessarily have to play overly aggressive. He doesn't have anybody in front of him right now, so the structure up top is safe. Looking underneath him, though, trying to find, is somebody hiding down there?
Loot at the ramp. Go ahead and grab that real quick. 412 more wood. This man has 700+ wood, 800+ brick, and maxed metal.
It surprises me, though, that he would shoot those rocket shots off like that. Typically, you see competitive players hold on to explosives until very late.
Really value them, yeah.
It can make a big, it's a change of momentum. If you have explosives versus somebody who doesn't, you decide when their structure comes down. You decide when they have to push and move. And shooting those 2 rockets, we'll have to wait and see if that was an intelligent decision or not. Was still one of the best players ever. I mean, all these guys are crazy good. Yeah. All these players are incredible. So chances are he'll probably run into some rocket ammo at some point.
No, for sure. Now I'm quickly looking at my screen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players already this game have earned themselves 3 elims, meaning they all have 1 point to their name, which, as we keep stressing, that literally is enough to potentially put you on the bubble to make it into our top 33.
Well, we saw earlier, even the top 32, 32nd had 1 point with 3 eliminations. Some of these players that you see in this game, this could be the deciding factor. Pushing to 5 elims could be, I mean, 2 points could be enough. Yep. It's enough to make him move.
Marksman slowly inching in, and every tree he goes to hit, he's trying to get some wood. Unfortunately, in these pro player-filled lobbies, all of these trees have already been just dropped to 50 health. So he's not really getting any mats from it. Oh, gosh.
He's got to edit himself out to try and get away from that before it ticks him. 5 HP a second in terms of damage is quite a bit when you're sitting on only 39. And Prodigy Ace is going to keep the stink bombs going. He's out now, but hopefully he got enough damage in there on Tristan. Maybe he can make a move soon. It looks like he's not going to. He's going to wait inside Salty. The fear, I think, of being third party when you're playing for rank right now is so high that they're not. You see a lot of players, they might get some damage tags, but if it's not enough, it's not substantial, they're not going to make a move.
Well,
he's built up a fortress right there, Jack.
Prodigy Aces just more than happy to play kind of gatekeeper.
He's looking through the slats of those wood, trying to watch for any movement outside.
He's just chilling at the moment. No reason to make anything happen. Alliance, Powder playing kind of close on that same gatekeeper area as well. Bolt Nog in the bottom of that house, and then Tristan again hiding in those buildings, and here comes Morgoss.
Hopping his way in.
He's like, hey guys,
gonna take shots.
How's everyone doing?
This is what Prodigy was waiting for. Like I said, they're waiting for those opportunities. They look for the players, even just watching through the wood slide, saying, okay, somebody's going to move down the street. Now's the time for me to take shots. Maybe even provoking somebody else to fire in too, whether he gets the elimination or not.
Oh, Marksman just got exploded.
You have to consider, too, these players are always thinking, even if I don't get the elimination, if someone eliminates that target, that puts me closer to top 10, that puts me closer to a point and make it to the grand finals on Monday.
100%, 100%. And with how many people are playing for that top 10 here, every little bit counts.
Snood taking power out with a shotgun. Rock's coming on Nibs. Shoots around that corner. Wow, the block out there at the last second wall. Just preventing any damage from the rocket.
At the high ground, and he's got rockets on the high ground. Somehow falls down. He knocks himself down. This could spell disaster, and it does exactly do that. Oh, he's kicking himself for that one. Rockets himself down, breaks his own structure, which drops him below, and just like that.
Rocket. Look at that simultaneous rocket trades. Levake
That's
shot
how
the rocket
Marksman died?
as Nibs' rocket was going out. Levake shot the rocket as well. It's simultaneous rocket fire. Now Saint very low HP, trying to build up. He's putting himself as high as he can right now. I believe he's not only is he getting third party by somebody. You heard the snipe shot a second ago. But
See, there he got
he's in a
pyramided.
1v1 against Sofa as well. Trying to edit Sofa.
Dude,
Oh,
that
man.
was brilliantly done by Sofa.
Pyramid
My
play to
goodness.
cap him inside, and then the edit and replace.
And Sofa's an example of one of these guys that I've really heard of him.
21, and the fall. Landjock gets the fall damage
I just went to go
elimination.
compliment him, and he died.
You need Jack. It's been almost every game.
I checked Twitter, and people were like, please don't ever compliment me while I'm casting. While you're casting. Like, if I'm ever getting cast away, you don't compliment me. I was about to say, Sofa had 5 limbs right there, so that's 2 points for him.
That's true. And Morgas, we watched him a number of times earlier. He was the player with struggling to get that third one, I believe, in the second game, but is still one of the highest ranked players on the leaderboard right now. So whether he got that elimination or not, he's been putting on an excellent show. The gameplay's been fantastic, and it shows. Landjack, we just watched a second ago. You gave him a good luck charm.
6 a limb.
Sitting on 6 eliminations. This could be number 7.
So give him 3 points.
Give him 3 points.
Trying to spray on through. This is for trying to place a trap, but it wasn't his wall. That was actually the enemy placing the trap. Trying to find an open wall to shoot. He's getting third party as well.
Back. 27 HP left.
Oh my no!
An excellent timing from Snood to say, okay, you guys are fighting. I want to fight too.
That was his chance for the 3 points for
6
the 7
eliminations. You should still feel great about that.
For the tie break, again, tiebreakers. Total victory royales first, then total eliminations. And only 4 people can have victory royales. So
elimination
it's going to go to eliminations basically right away.
Whether it gives you a point or not.
Yep.
$19 left. This circle is closing, which means every circle after this is when it starts to move. Now this is Morgas just a moment ago.
He missed.
Oh. Mid-air.
Wow.
SMG spray off the bounce pad there. His opponent missed the first jump, jumped up on top, and had the reposition.
Morgas is in the zone, taking a ton of damage. Finally will make it on out. He's going to get shot down too. This could be the ending here for our friend Morgas.
Not far enough of a drop to do fall damage. Tristan Hibbs sitting inside, and the rocket's coming out. You see the quick. He knows the rocket's coming in. It's time to just put up every surface you can before you fall too far. Shotgunning, he's mad at trees, but he needed to get rid of that just so he could make a move through that surface, just in case there were another rocket. Maybe somebody pushes in.
And this is one of the healthier games Exus has had. Most times we've gotten to him, he's had like no shields, but already 5 limbs, top 18, maxed rockets. 1K AR ammo and 8 minis.
And he has a bounce pad, which means he can
Exus is in the best position of any player in this game right now, I think. Already in the next zone, too.
That's actually ridiculous.
He's in a really fantastic spot. As he somehow gets sniped from the heavens. A player learned a new skill.
Don't say it anymore.
New weapon. Curved bullet. This gun shoots